coffee, chills, and whispers in the dark.
Hi, my little brujas. Welcome to Bruja Coffee Hour. My name is Dannie Oliveros, and if you're new here, hi. Welcome to our spooky caffeinator of the world, where we tell spooky stories, or legends, or true crime, or movies, whatever is your deal. And happy December! We're officially entered the season where everyone is pretending to be cozy while super stimulated over caffeinated stress shopping and trying to not fall apart before the 25th. Love that for us. I'm sitting here with my Winter Dream, yes, homemade syrup, where we're in our soft life but on a budget era. And today's episode is giving festive, sparkly, and just a little unhinge, because we're talking about something people forget. That Christmas used to be creepy, like actually spooky. Like the Victorians fully sat around telling ghost stories on purpose. And while we're out here in 2025, posting our holiday photo dumps and fighting for our lives in Target parking lots, the Victorians were like, gather close, children, and let's discuss death. Honestly, kind of iconic. Alright, before we dive into the Victorian creepiness of tonight's episode, we need our official Bruja drink of the night. We're calling it the Winter Dream Latte. You can do it ice, hot, or shaken, because nothing pairs with the ghost stories like something warm and cozy and mildly addictive in a festive way. So don't worry, I'm going to show you how to make this syrup. It's very easy and it tastes like December in a cup. So I got inspired by this because Coffee Bean actually has this out every seasonal time, and I love it because it's like, I'm a big fan of chai, and it's just the greatest tea latte. So what you can do is that you can buy the little canisters of the Winter Dream bag, or if you can find something similar, I use the canister from the Winter Dream tea bag. So you just get 2 or 3 winter tea bags, depending how bitter or like how concentrated you want it. 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, and I would always do a splash of the vanilla extract. I like to use the Mexican one. And if you want to make it more cozier, you can boil it in a saucepan and heat it until the sugar dissolves. You can add cinnamon stick to it to make it more like cozy feeling. And then once that is not boiling, but at least the sugar is dissolved, turn off the heat and then put on those tea bags and let it steep for like 10 minutes. No rushing, let that tea do its thing. And then remove the bags, give it a little stir and add, like that vanilla and if that cinnamon stick is in there, like move it all around. Pour it in a jar or whatever, like syrup, until it's completely cool. And now you've basically got your holiday witchcraft that you can use all month. And then if you want to learn how to build it, you can, if this is going to be the hot version, so you can steam or heat your milk, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of the syrup, top it with espresso or brew coffee, however you like it, and stir it like it's resetting your whole December vibe. And our ice version is you can fill the cup of ice, add milk, or you can do like backwards too. Like this is kind of like a almost like an upside down latte version. I would normally like to shake it, so what I would do is like fill the shaker cup of ice and add the 1 or 2 tablespoons of the syrup and then my espresso. What I like to do is shake it and then put it in a cup and top it off with milk. and then you can mix it so it can mix well. It's super good. And while you're sipping it, try to do it like a little intention thoughts. Like take your first sip while you're here with me. So drink whatever drink you're drinking with me right now. It could be hot chocolate or whatever you're drinking. And let this cup be your reset button for the stress, the to-do list, the holiday chaos, and whatever haunted nonsense we're about to get into. Okay. Now that we got our Winter Dream Wonderless Latte, or that learn how to make, let's talk about something that should be weird but honestly makes total sense. The Victorians era were absolutely living for ghost stories at Christmas. Like, imagine you're in the 1800s. There's no Wi-Fi, no Target runs, no chaotic Christmas, or TikToks especially. It's just dark at night at 4. It's dark at 4 p.m. It's freezing and everyone is stuck inside with candles and vibes that scream, something's lurking in the hallway. And of course, they were telling ghost stories. What else is there gonna do? Crochet by candlelight? Practice dying dramatically of consumption? No, they were basically the original spooky girlies.
Get out.
What we should think of now as cozy, cinnamon-lit holiday was actually peak season for the supernatural. Stories about things tapping on windows, phantom carriages appearing on the snowy roads, or long-lost relatives showing up at night like, hey, I'm dead, but Merry Christmas. It was a whole genre, a tradition, a December sport. And honestly, I respect it. They said, holiday cheer is cute, but a little haunting really ties the vibe together. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Don't do this if you're driving or something dangerous. Just imagine a snow-covered English manor in 1952. I lied. 1852. The kind of place where your boots crunch on frost, your breath fogs the candle-lit hallways, and every creak of the wooden floors feels deliberate. In this house lives a little girl, wrapped in a warm blanket, her hands clutching a doll that's a little too old for comfort. Her nurse watches carefully, always near, but there's a tension in the air. The room down the hall is colder than it should be. A shadow drifts past the doorway even though no one is there. Elizabeth Gaskell wrote the story as a Christmas tale published in Household Words in 1852. But it isn't just a story. It's full of sensory experience, the snap of the frost underfoot, the faint of scent of pine from the door's wreaths, the silent ache of loss hidden behind the cheerful decoration. The ghost in the story, a child who died long ago, not a monster, not a screamer, just a presence, a cold touch in the hallway, a toy move ever so slightly when no one's looking, eyes that seem to watch from the shadows, and yet there's a sorrow to it, a longing. You can almost feel the loneliness pressuring against the walls. Can you hear the wind outside? The snow tapping against the window panels? Can you feel the warmth of the drink in your hand or the coldness? While a quiet old presence waits just beyond the candle light. Gaskell's brilliance is the mixes of comfort and dread. Seamlessly, the nurse cares, the child sleeps, the fire crackles, and the ghost quietly reminds you that even in the brightest season, shadows linger.
Okay, besties, take a second to refill your cafecito, maybe light a candle, and get comfy, because the next part is where the real creeps come in.
Now listen close. This story takes us back to Christmas Eve in Victorian England. Snow presses against frosted windows, muffling the world outside. Inside an old country house, a brother and a sister have just inherited their family home. A house that has been silent for decades, yet somehow feels alive. The hallways stretch unnaturally long, and the walls groan inside with the weight of memories. Doors that shouldn't move creak open on their own. Footsteps echoed through empty corridors, but no one is there. Shadow pools in corners, moving when your eyes are elsewhere. And then a whisper. Just a breath of voice, soft, unintelligent, almost pleading. Almost pleading. The siblings, curious and terrified, decide to investigate. They play a game, a Christmas game. Candles flickered violently in the drafts. Their breaths rise in ghostly fumes. The snow outside presses against the windows like a shroud, tapping them in. The house responds. Footsteps on the stairs that aren't used, doors clicking, shuts behind them. Objects suddenly shifted from where they left them, and then the centerpiece of horror and a reenactment of a long ago murdered, not bloody or cinematic, but silent, perfect in its eerie precision. Shadows move as if guided by unseen hands. The air grows ice cold, and the house itself seems to watch. The siblings freeze, hearts hammering, realizing some games cannot be won. Some houses never forgive. Some memories refuse to rest. And if you want to explore further, search A Strange Christmas Game by Charlotte Riddle, 1868. Read it by a candlelight and maybe sip on your future Winter Dream Latte or shaken espresso. But keep your eyes on the shadows, and remember, some houses still remember even when we try to forget. With the fire crackling and your drink in hand, let the whispers of these ghostly tales drift around you. The old nurse's ghost lingering in the shadows of the manor in 1852. The strange game in the house frozen by snow and memory in 1868. They remind us of even in the brightest season, there's a little darkness, and that darkness is part of the magic. So sip slowly, feel the warmth, let the shadows curl just enough to make the fire light feel extra cozy. That's the energy we're channeling tonight. A little haunted, a little sparkling, fully December 2025. If you love today's ghostly Christmas tales, share this episode with a friend who loves a good chill by the fire. Follow me on Bruja Podcast across all social media platforms. Tag me if you recreate the Winter Dream Latte or syrup. I want to see your cozy magic. And always respect your local or chain baristas when ordering. They are the real MVPs for keeping our magic caffeinated alive. And then for more Victorian ghost chills, look up Elizabeth Gaskell's The Old Nurse's Story and Charlotte Riddle's The Strange Christmas Game. Read them by the candlelight for the full effect. And until next time, stay safe, sip slowly, keep your coffee warm or cold, and stay curious about the shadows that linger in the corners. Good night, everyone.